Hello friends, welcome to the Medisas channel. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel and press the bell icon so you never miss an update. So let's get started. This video is about the introduction to parasitology, its brief history and discoveries made in parasitology. So, what is parasitology? Parasitology is the branch of medical science which deals with the study of parasite and its parasitic pathogenic effect to the host. Parasite is an organism that may be protozoan, platyhelminthes, nematode, and arthropod, cause the infection to the other organism that is a host. It is simply the study of parasitism. Parasitism is the symbiotic relationship in which one organism is benefited while the other organism is harmed. Now, the history of parasitology. Can you answer if I ask you who is the father of modern parasitology? Yes, Francesco Redi is the father of modern parasitology. He was an Italian physician, naturalist, and biologist. He was he was the first person to challenge the theory of spontaneous generation by demonstrating that maggots, the larvae of flies, come from the egg of the flies. His book Observation on Living Animals That Are in Living Animals recorded the description and the illustration of more than 100 parasites. Wow. Now the Reddy's experiment. So what actually Reddy did to disprove the spontaneous generation? Reddy predicted that preventing flies from having direct contact with the meat would also prevent the appearance of maggots. So in 1668, what Reddy did? Reddy took 6 containers and left meat in each of 6 containers. Two were open to the air, two were covered with the gauze, and the two were tightly sealed. So what happened, friends? His hypothesis became true when maggots developed in the uncovered jar, but the known maggot appeared in either the gauze-covered or the tightly sealed jar. So he concluded that the maggots could only form when flies were allowed to lay eggs in the meat, and that the maggots were the offspring of flies, not the product of spontaneous generation. So, friends, what is basically spontaneous generation? Do you have any idea? Yes, spontaneous generation is basically the belief of the people that living organism would arise from the non-living matter because they saw them come out of certain things such as maggots out of the manure. So in 1668, spontaneous generation theory was disproved by the Francesco Regi, and the experiment conducted on the germ theory and diseases by the Louis Pasteur between the year 1860 and 1864. Louis Pasteur's friend Bigot was the owner of the big industry of beer. He asked the help from the Louis Pasteur that his beer kept going to sour and he always had to throw them away. This is when Louis Pasteur came by his theory, germ theory. He used a microscope to discover that in the beer there were some microorganisms which Pasteur believed caused the beer to go off. So he found out that when heated, these germs died and the beer doesn't go into sour, went to the sour. So the germ theory states that many diseases are caused by the presence and action of specific microorganism within the body. Means germ theory says that diseases are caused by the presence of the microorganism. And the germ theory was very important, is very important, still today is very important because it established the cause of many diseases. When the cause of the disease is known, the treatment and the prevention could also automatically can be known. So before the development of the germ theory, people did not understand the need for sterilization or other type of hygiene. They would unintentionally spread illness through the contamination. Before, because of the small size of protozoan, it was not possible to recognize any protozoa until the invention of the microscope. So in 17th century, Antony van Leeuwenhoek perfected microscope, which enables protozoa in rainwater, salica, and feces. Leeuwenhoek describes the Giardia trophozoite form from a sample of his own stool in 1681. Now the discoveries of parasitic protozoa. The study of parasitic protozoa only really began 2 centuries later, following the discovery of bacteria and the announcement of the germ theory by Louis Pasteur, and his colleagues at the end of the 19th century. So, Charles Louis Alphonse Lavron discovered the malarial parasite Plasmodium falciparum in 1881, and Ronald Rode discovered that mosquitoes are the vectors, or we can say that mosquitoes transmit the malarial parasite. Mosquitoes transmit the malarial parasite. William Book Leishman, and Charles Donovani collectively discovered that Leishmania donovani. Leishmania is a vector-borne disease caused by the flagellated protozoa of the germ of the genus Leishmania. There are various species of Leishmania, of which one is Leishmania donovani. The German painter, naturalist, and the entomologist August John discovered the amoeba. In 1901, British surgeon Robert Ford observed the parasite in human blood but concluded that they were worm. An English physician, Joseph Dutton, correctly identified the parasites as trypanosoma. Now the discoveries of helminthic worms. James Paget discovered the trichinella. Trichinella caused the trichinosis. Trichinella caused the trichinosis. Trichinosis, also known as the trichinellosis. Trichinella infection is caused by the intestinal nematode worm Trichinella spiralis, which requires two hosts in the life cycle. Now the Carl Linnaeus discovered the Ascaris. Ascaris is the large round worm. It has infected 2 billion of people. The adult form of this worm lives in the intestine, and the female produces egg that pass out with the feces, and the larva within the egg develop to the infective stage in soil. The length of this worm, Ascaris worm, is from the 50 to 35 centimeters. Ascaris causes a disease called ascariasis. Now the Dubini. Anglo Dubini discovered the hookworm. Hookworm caused the disease, hookworm disease. Hookworm caused the disease, hookworm disease. Human hookworm infection are caused by two species, Ancylostoma duodenale and the Necator americanus. The life cycle of two worms are almost similar. Adult male and female worm live in the small intestine where they can cause massive blood loss. It passed out with feces to contaminate the soil. Patrick Manson described the life cycle of lymphatic filariasis. Lymphatic filariasis is caused by the infection with the nematode worm, Wucheria bancrofti, Wucheria malei, and the Wucheria temori, which are transmitted by the mosquitoes. This discovery was most significant discovery in the tropical medicine in 1877. Thank you.